What if every night when you fall asleep, you don't just dream, you travel? Not through imagination, but through reality itself. A different reality. A place where another version of you exists, living a life you never chose. Think about it. Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so real, that when you woke up it felt like you had just left somewhere rather than imagined it? What if that feeling isn't an illusion? What if it's a memory from somewhere else? Science tells us that dreams are created by the brain. When you fall asleep, your body rests, but your brain becomes incredibly active. During a stage called REM sleep, rapid eye movement, your brain processes memories, emotions, and experiences. Neurons fire in complex patterns, creating images, sounds, and entire environments. From a scientific perspective, dreams are supposed to be random, fragments of memory, mixed signals, neural noise. But here's the problem. If dreams are random, why do they feel structured? Why do they have stories? Why do they have continuity, emotion, and logic that sometimes feels even more real than waking life? And more importantly, why do some dreams feel like you're not watching them, but actually living inside them? Neuroscience explains a lot, but not everything. We understand how neurons fire, how signals travel, how memories are stored, but we still don't fully understand consciousness. What is awareness? Why do we experience reality subjectively? Why does it feel like there is a you inside your mind, watching everything? Some scientists suggest that consciousness is not just a product of the brain, but something more fundamental. Something that may not be limited to physical boundaries. If that's true, then dreams may not just be internal simulations. They could be something far more real. Modern physics introduces a radical idea. The universe we live in might not be the only one. According to the multiverse theory, there could be infinite universes existing at the same time. Each universe slightly different from the others. In one universe, you made a different decision. In another, you chose a different path. In another, your entire life turned out completely differently. This idea is not just science fiction. It comes from real interpretations of quantum physics. And one of the most fascinating is called the many worlds interpretation. At the smallest level of reality, things don't behave the way we expect. Quantum particles can exist in multiple states at once. This is called superposition. A particle can be in two places at the same time until it is observed. The moment you measure it, it chooses one state. But here's where it gets strange. Some physicists believe that the particle doesn't choose. Instead, reality splits. In one universe, the particle is here. In another, it is there. Two realities existing simultaneously. Now, imagine this happening constantly. At every moment, with every decision, reality could be branching into countless versions of itself. Think about the decisions you've made in your life. Big ones, small ones, even the ones you barely noticed. What if every single choice created a new version of reality, a new timeline, a new version of you? One where you said yes instead of no. One where you took the opportunity instead of walking away. One where your life turned out completely differently. If the multiverse theory is true, then all of those versions exist right now. Now here's where everything connects. What if your dreams are not random, but connections? Moments where your consciousness shifts from this reality to another. Think about it. In dreams, you are often in unfamiliar places. You interact with unknown people. You experience events that feel completely real. But sometimes you are not yourself. You are someone else, or a different version of yourself. What if that's because you actually are? If dreams were just imagination, they wouldn't feel real, but they do. You feel pain, fear, happiness. Your brain reacts as if everything is actually happening. From a scientific perspective, this is because the brain regions responsible for emotion and perception are highly active during REM sleep. But that explanation doesn't fully answer the question. Why does the brain create experiences that are indistinguishable from reality? Unless they are not created, they are accessed. Imagine this. Right now, somewhere in another universe, there is another version of you, living a different life, making different choices, experiencing a different reality. And when you fall asleep, your consciousness might briefly connect to that version. You see what they see. You feel what they feel. For a moment, you become them. Of course, there is no direct proof that dreams are connected to parallel universes. Most scientists still believe dreams are internal processes, and they may be right. But science is still evolving. There was a time when atoms were invisible, when space travel was impossible, when quantum physics sounded absurd. Today, those ideas are real. So the question is not whether this idea sounds impossible. The question is, could it be possible? Now consider this. If your dreams feel real, and your waking life feels real, how do you know which one is actually real? What is the difference between a dream and reality if both are experienced the same way? Your brain processes both through the same system. Your consciousness experiences both through the same awareness. So what makes this world more real than your dreams? What if you are not just dreaming at night, but switching realities? What if every time you wake up, you're not returning to the same world, but entering a new one, slightly different from the last? A world where small details change, where paths shift, where reality evolves without you noticing. And what if, one day, you won't wake up here at all? So tonight, when you close your eyes, pay attention. Because what you experience might not be imagination. It might be a glimpse of another version of reality, another universe, another you. And maybe, just maybe, that version is wondering the exact same thing about you.